Hi, this week we have some more tips about aphasia. Hi, it's me, Linda Burhan, the gal who cares for the caregivers with love, laughter, and lessons learned. This week we have my friend Debbie Jonas back from Voices of Hope for Aphasia. So what would you like to talk about today?
Well, Linda, I'm going to show you a couple easy tips on how to support communication with somebody who has any sort of communication disorder.
Fabulous.
All you need is a pen and a pad of paper. Now, you don't have to have one as cool as this one,
Right.
but any pad of paper will work. But if you and I were talking and you have a language disorder, which means maybe you have trouble understanding what you're hearing, what I can do is very easily write some keywords as we're going along, so it's easier to understand what we're talking about.
Okay.
The other thing that happens is that while I'm writing, I'm also slowing down my speech, which gives you the ability to catch up.
Try to recalculate.
Yep, and process what you're hearing. When we communicate, and especially when we're processing information that's coming in, seeing something visual augments anything audio.
Okay.
So, for example, during the pandemic, I've gotten really good at listening to British crime drama, but I can't always follow all the accents. So guess what I do? I turn on the subtitles.
And
I'm
can
doing
read it.
exactly this. I'm getting the audio and I'm getting the visual. This is what we can do for a person with aphasia. For a person who has aphasia, maybe who has a memory issue, anything else, if I needed to tell you that on Tuesday, you're going to go see Dr. Moore
Right.
at 3 p.m. Now you've heard it, you've seen it, and now easily you can keep it as a reminder.
Okay, so do you say this to me as you're writing it down for me?
Yes.
Okay.
Because now you've heard it, you've seen it, and then you can also keep it.
And so that is, it just reinforces me to be able to remember it and understand it.
Yep,
Makes
exactly.
sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
As much input and as much information as we can provide, we're augmenting the information that we're receiving.
Okay, but now we're telling something to someone. What if we're asking them something?
Okay, good question. Last week, I talked about how aphasia, a language disorder, could be like being dropped into a country where you don't know
Right.
the words. Well, conveniently, using picture dictionaries, like if you were dropped into a different country,
Right.
you can use travel books. This is the wordless travel book, to help navigate some responses. So, for example, this happens to be the page with food on it. Linda, what would you like to have for dinner tonight? We're having steak. Would you like any of these together with it? Some corn?
Yes.
Excellent. What else? And a potato.
Yes.
How would you like the potato done? Would you like French fries or would you like mashed potatoes?
Mashed.
Mashed. Awesome. So we're going to have steak tonight, Linda, and we're going to have corn and mashed potatoes. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Awesome. There we go.
Okay, so now once again I have something to remember, and I don't feel like I was foolish, but do you find that sometimes people are trying to finish their sentence when they don't know what they want?
Yeah. So this is a
'Cause
way.
I think that could be very frustrating. Like, you show me a picture, or you could write a word down, that could help me. But if you didn't do that, and you're like, corn, potatoes, vegetables,
Yeah.
and I can't.
Yeah, or for goodness sakes, if you go to the restaurant and they say, would you like, today we have asparagus, corn,
Right.
potatoes, blah, blah, blah. No, could you just write them down for me? I'll point to the one that I want.
Yeah.
So it's easier to process. You are taking control of making the decision. I'm not making the decision
Right.
for you anymore. You
Right.
get to make the decision. Now there's some limits to it, but here's another way. This is a generic communication book that we use at Voices of Hope for Aphasia that has a lot of different pages of information.
Oh, I see years and...
Yep. Things
Yeah.
as simple as verifying yes and no. The words yes and no are stored really closely in our brain. So even if I want to go grab yes, I might pull no. So verifying yes,
Which
like
one?
we just
Yeah.
did, is important. But this way, it doesn't have to be a pre-printed book. This is another one that we like a lot with nice pictures. But it could be personalized. So, Linda, if you have 5 of your favorite restaurants and we have them on a page here, and I said, Linda, where are we going to go to dinner tonight? Let's pretend this is the page with restaurants.
Yeah, and I could just point to the one I like.
Yep. And you don't, even if you can't say it, if you can't think of it, there it is.
I think it's so important because as I've learned, and I'm learning more about aphasia, is lots of times people think that the person with aphasia is drunk or stupid or whatever. And they just don't really understand that it's just communication.
Yeah. It's all the information is there. So many people with aphasia say, I know it, I just can't say it.
Yeah.
I know it. That's the important part.
Right.
Help me say it. Help me get the message across.
Right.
And these are really easy. I mean, everybody has a piece of paper and a pen with
Yes.
them. And it is the strongest tool. If I'm going into a room with a person with aphasia, this is what I bring with me.
And especially, okay, so Dad just had a stroke. As soon as he gets home, let's start doing this right away.
Let's do it before he gets home. Do it in the hospital. Have a list of, here, this is the page. How are you feeling, Dad? Are you
Embarrassed,
feeling okay?
happy, sad, worried.
Yeah, I'm feeling sad.
And there's nice choices there. It's not just like, am I happy or sad?
Right. Yeah. And these can be, I mean, there's 1,000 different ways that these could be presented in, but also pain scales, immediate hospital needs.
Yeah.
Where does it hurt? All of these things, that happens right away.
Yeah.
When somebody has a stroke and then they're in the hospital, rightfully, we want to make sure that they're safe, that they can eat, that they can swallow without choking. But we also need to make sure that they can communicate.
Yeah. Thanks so much for being with me, my friend, today. I so appreciate you.
Thank you, Linda, for inviting me.
You're welcome. Tune in next week for another tip sponsored by Arden Courts, where all they do is memory care. If you have any questions about aphasia, you can find Debbie's contact information in the show. Thanks, and have a delicious day.